Jesus Christ.
That is the most real thing I have ever experienced in my life. I got fired from working at Red Robin for doing that. When do we get to bury him in a thing and jerk off on him, though? I'd say I can take on 3 11-year-olds. And he clicks the button, and he's just this woman cussing him the fuck out. This is the weirdest theory I've ever heard in my entire life. Well, in a lot of ways, Big Boy's never left. I agree. He will tell you I'm a bad driver, but there's no evidence for that. I have intuition and I'm deep in this. Dude, people fall for absolute monsters on a regular basis.
Hey, hello. This is this week's episode of the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. I'm the host this week, Eric Fady. Thanks for checking us out. If you have not liked our Facebook page or subscribed to our YouTube channel, we always would really appreciate that. That's the stuff that really can help us grow this show bigger and better every week, as it is anyway. So thank you for that. The show's a little different than most in that we rotate hosting roles between 3 longtime comic friends, Scott Ryan.
Right here.
Tyler Charles.
Right here.
And again, this week's host, me, Eric Fady. So thank you very much, guys, for checking us out. Did you guys want to talk about the drawings
promotion?
and the promotion that we're doing?
Yeah. Okay. So if you rate us 5 stars on iTunes and leave a comment and send us some proof that you did that, you
Screenshot it.
Screenshot. Yeah. You can reach out to us and we will put you in a drawing to win either 2 of Tyler's art pieces or an hour-long tarot reading from me.
Yeah, and how you reach out to us is just screenshot it and put it on our Facebook page. Send it to us in our messaging, and we will get back to you.
Awesome.
Like Scott has said several episodes now, we have had people reach out and do that. They've been really happy with it. So if you want to get some free stuff and by just literally leaving us a review, that'd be awesome.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
That is the promotion we're running.
Thank you.
Stuff.
No, thank you, guys. You guys do a better job at describing that than I do. Despite the fact that
did we?
I promise you.
We couldn't decide who was doing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's still probably better than me. Still probably better than me. I'm not great with some of that stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You would have halfway through started into some personal story.
I know.
About one time.
I have a bluebird. I call it a bluebird syndrome, but I get that because of The Simpsons. But like, I have that kind of, oh, look, a bluebird. Like I'm doing something. And then, oh, look this. Yeah. What about this thing that happened one time 10 years ago? So that's how I go. It is what it is. ADD can have its benefits and its negatives, I suppose.
Yeah, very much so. You have a lot of half stuff done.
Yeah. Actually, the funny thing is, I don't have a lot of half stuff done, but I do have a lot of half thoughts or stories that I tell. That one time I saw this meme where it was like, how a normal person tells a story.
He's doing it right now. He's doing it right now.
Well, no, like how a normal person tells a story. And it's like he starts here and story ends, and how like I tell a story is like, hey, this, and then, oh, by the way, that day I was watching this movie, and then so-and-so said hi, and then this happened, and oh, by the way, this was the point of the story an hour later. But
this is like, I feel like I'm in Eric diversion inception or something right now, because like you're telling a story about how you do this.
I'm telling you a story about how bad I tell stories and getting distracted while I'm getting distracted from telling a story.
I need a top to spin. I need
to make sure we're in the real world.
Right.
Sure.
Well, it's me. So this week, I've always been really fascinated with the idea of popularity. I guess in art, we wrote here in art and life. Certainly, music. It's not going to be a shock after 39 episodes or whatever we're at this point that I'm obviously a big music fan. So music hits hard for me more than any of the art forms. But just the idea of like people like something becoming quote unquote too popular, and then you don't like it or you do like it, or people get mad if something becomes too popular. And can something popular be good, quote unquote? I suppose. I know Scott we'll butt heads on some of these once we get down the topic lines here. But
you know what?
Give your initial thoughts on some of that stuff.
I was just going to say, I don't believe any of us are this sort of person. I don't understand the mentality of somebody who liked a thing and then it got popular, and then they stopped liking the thing.
Just for being popular, not
Just
like
for
you
being
didn't like where they
popular.
went. If you want, dude, it is fine to like a band and then kind of maybe not love their new direction and say, you know what, I just personally didn't like their last few albums, right? To me,
Yeah.
But just like I remember one time someone telling me about Fall Out Boy, and it was like their literal reason for not liking them anymore was just they were popular. That was it. I used to go see them.
If you want to talk about a band being a sellout or something, Fall Out Boy were sellouts from the get.
I didn't know about it from the get, but I know that they came. I know when they broke up at one point and came back. They came back.
Group?
Yeah,
Or was it like a legit?
Wait, what do you mean by that? I never knew that.
Like a boy band situation. I have no idea about it. I'm just imagining from what you're saying.
I believe Fall Out Boy's first record was extremely popular. Isn't that
yeah.
Swinging like that song? Isn't that from?
That's not. I don't believe technically off the first album. I believe that's on the second one. But no, you did pick a good one in the sense that this is for sure. They broke up for a little bit and they came back and they basically full on said they came back because they just wanted to make money. so that is an example there, I suppose. Yeah,
that's them legit just
and
acknowledging their sellout.
Although there's just a job. I mean, it is a job. On the same hand, I don't know if that's technically a sellout to me because in a way, you're just saying, hey, we do want to make money still and people like the music. And I actually heard since then they became they did bond again. But, go ahead.
Eric, do you know the story of why they're called Fall Out Boy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Why?
Can you tell me? Because I'm having a vague recollection.
They were, I think essentially they were called something. And I think they were at a show and they're like, what should we be called or something? And someone said Fall Out Boy, but it is a reference to The Simpsons, by the way.
Yep. That was the story I was thinking of.
They liked the name. They liked the name, and also they liked that it could be an homage to The Simpsons because it's a Simpsons episode. Fall Out Boy.
I mean the idea.
So you're saying that they're selling out because they're saying fuck it, we're not even gonna have our own name.
Yeah, these people crowdsourced their name.
Yeah.
They got back together like we just want to make money, and there's some indie idiot sitting there being like, "Well, they sold out." And it's
right.
What integrity did they have to begin with?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the name, but I get what you're saying. But also the thing to me is like, he didn't say I didn't like their newest work or they went in a weird. He just goes I don't, and they weren't even when this guy was telling me at this point. By the way, they hadn't even reached the point where they had broken up yet. They were like in the original point where most people probably would have assumed they were happy and just right. I mean, they weren't even at the point where they'd been broken up for a few years. They were just like they had just reached the level that he's like, well, I used to be able to buy tickets for $10 at the blank, and now I'm not going to pay $40. Like they weren't even in stadium touring mode yet before this guy was like, and now they're too popular. I'm like, well, okay. What is? Are you kidding me?
I have this theory about music in general that I always feel like don't get me wrong, like big labels, they can mess with your music, right? You get into a lifestyle where there are real ways in which being popular can affect your music negatively. But I think a lot of the time, people that quote unquote sold out, they generally had a couple of good records on a big label before they hit this point where people don't like them. And to be honest, I feel like music is this weird thing where you get like 10 years. Yeah. And then after that, you just suck.
Or you just learn to play if you get good enough, you can play the hits, and hey, that's your job at least.
Lean into that,
and you're doing what you like.
I completely agree. I think there's a time cap to a musician creating art that's authentic and good.
Yeah, because can either of you?
Well, wait a minute. I would say this
in a lifestyle you started out. I mean, it's not like there aren't rich people who put out good shit, but a lot of the time, really soulful music comes from somebody who's been through some shit.
Here's the thing.
Like putting that through the music.
And it's a young thing.
Yeah. Real quick.
Young people.
When he said that, Tyler, I don't totally disagree. I don't like the use of the phrasing authentic and whatnot, because I think the thing is, I don't think it's that they're not making authentic music. I think if you don't make it to a level in musicians, I think all of us way underestimate how fucking hard it is to get one song that can get people that everyone can know, right? Then write a few, then write an album, then write 3 albums. I think people sometimes we sit here and go, Well, why can't they just write 10 albums? Because it's fucking hard. You know what I mean?
But that's still like saying that there's a well that they're working from, and it is hard, but like there's a time frame where it works for them. And after that, you kind of get into a life of complacency and just are comfortable and like don't really have those hardships to actually like convey.
Yeah, and actually, like, we just got in the comments, I actually love this point because I 100% agree, where this guy was saying that, like, popularity doesn't diminish art on its own, but it does diminish live events. And I totally agree with that.
Oh, I so disagree. So disagree.
I want to be, man, my favorite concerts.
I agree with you.
Yeah, my favorite concerts are, there's 200 of you. Yep. You all fucking adore the person.
There's room to dance. I can get up to the front easily. Yeah. Like all that.
You can maybe hang out with the person who
actually did the art.
Actually did the art afterwards. I've had that happen many times.
Yeah.
You know, this is where I'm such a weirdo, and you guys know this about me. I'm such a weirdo that I so many things in my life, I toe the extreme lines for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like usually people I think are either like you or they love the other. They're okay completely with the other version. And it's like, I have artists, and my God, if we had a bell where we dang the most cliche remarks on this show, it'd be OJ didn't kill those people and me mentioning Pat Green somehow, right? Like that's like those are the two things on my end that if you ring a bell every time. But like Pat Green to me is that guy that every show I see him with, he's not a big dude, and I love it. I get to see, I've seen him in bars where I could touch him if I wanted to. He's right up there. I fucking love it. But on the same
hand, have you ever touched him?
Did you
touch
I
have touched. I've touched.
Did you touch Pat Green?
Not inappropriately, but
you're first.
Not inappropriately, but I have
spur on the edge of the stage.
You know he's got boot spurs.
That's for sure. I have not. I've not. Well, he put his arm around me once for a photo.
You know he's spinning the little boot spurs.
He doesn't wear
He
spurs.
put his arm around you for a photo.
He put his arm around me for a photo one time. So I did do that. But on the same hand,
did you like sniff his neck?
Well, you know what I did? I'm such a fucking asshole. The time he took me, he put his arm around me for a photo, I drove with my buddy who's a huge Pat Green fan. Obviously.
like a bale of hay.
Yeah.
We went on a fucking road trip where we drove 20 hours down to Dallas to fucking see him at Dallas and to see him in a show. And I'm in his fan club. The reason I did it is because I was in his fan club, so they had like a pre-show thing in the morning. Then you got the concert at night or whatever. And I get up there. I drove 20 hours. I'm all excited, and he's gonna get a picture with him. And I just go, "Hey, I just want to tell you, I enjoy your music." And he's like, "Okay, thank you."
20 hours for that interaction.
I thought I was being funny. The thing was, I was doing my own stupid sense of humor instead of fucking realizing that, dude, you're not gonna get to just see this guy this close every time. You should tell him you drove here and you love his music. All I said was like, "Oh no, I hope it's okay. No offense, but I enjoy your music." And he's like, "Oh, that's okay."
No offense, but
I was like, "No offense, but I really enjoy your music."
Man. Ooh. Man. that is the end of some shitty indie movie where like you think he's gonna actually like
it could have been
part of the band and great things are gonna happen.
Right.
That's what he says at the very end of it.
It could have been
for the last 24 hours about what am I gonna say?
Eric.
Oh no, dude, I did it.
How's it gonna be?
Yeah, did you have like
no? That's the thing.
Scene where you like talk.
No.
Like, hey, Pat Green. Hey,
that's what you're missing, dude. I'm so dumb that was my sense of humor. I was like, it was me and my buddy's sense of humor is to like, we really like.
You thought that was hilarious. Like you had prepared that.
Well, I didn't think he was gonna laugh because I think it was stupid. It was like just to make my buddy laugh, which was so dumb. Because again, I'm meeting like one of my
buddy laugh.
Oh yeah, we thought it was funny, but like,
did you laugh in Pat Green's face?
No, we did it afterwards. But I'm like,
you could have made your buddy laugh at home though.
I know, I'm an idiot, dude. What do you want from me?
And become best friends with Pat Green.
I know. What do you want from me? I'm a moron.
Okay, you know what? One of my biggest, like, okay, if we're talking about popular things, have you ever been to a concert and you were watching the TV screen instead of the performer because you can't really fucking see the performer.
Yeah. When I had shitty seats.
Yeah. You're watching them on the back screen. Yes.
And that's the worst thing ever. Cause I'm like, dude, I don't watch concert videos on my couch because they suck.
Right. Right.
And now I'm here.
You don't like seeing the little ant version of them dance around on stage? I do. I hate that. Because it is really bullshit. Because most of the time you're paying attention to this big screen.
Yeah,
it depends on where your seats are.
I don't know if that's that person.
I remember I saw a Green Day concert when I was like 17.
Oh yeah, you
18.
didn't see their faces for shit.
No, I didn't see their faces for shit, and it was in a big arena.
Yeah,
and there were seats.
Yeah,
people were sitting.
Oh, terrible, terrible. That's a bummer for sure to see him in that setting.
Which is what happens. You're never gonna see people if there's a concert with 200 people there. You ain't gonna see motherfuckers sitting.
Right. Yeah, that's weird. Especially at a Green Day show, like a country music show. That's one thing, but a Green Day show.
Yeah.
But just to kind of circle back, so like I'm like I said, I'm weird, and I have some artists that I enjoy that I see the way you guys are talking about, and I do appreciate it. I like that it's just like up close. And MSI is a band I used to watch, and I'd see them in small fucking venues and stuff like that.
Self-indulgence.
Yeah, and stuff. So I get that, but on the same hand, for me, like one of the last concerts I've seen before COVID, it wasn't the last one, but it was the second to last one, was Garth Brooks with 80,000 people, and I fucking love it. I love that 80,000 people are there to fucking enjoy this thing together, and like the fact that many people care enough. I don't know. So I totally okay if you don't like it. I'm just saying I'm a weird person who enjoys the lower ones for artists that I like that. But I also dig the feeling. I saw Billy Joel at a baseball stadium in Chicago with 30,000 people, and I fucking loved it. 30,000 people singing Piano Man. I know you guys probably don't like sing-alongs. I'm sure you don't. But
I don't mind it. I don't mind a good call and response, a good sing-along. Yeah. But I like the.
There is a different vibe to larger venues.
Well, and I was gonna say
has its own merit.
If you wanted a better interaction with an artist, you should have gone up to the lead singer of Mindless Self-Indulgence and been like, I also lit my dick on fire, but I did it in tinfoil.
Well, I did
it worse than you, bro.
Actually, if you want to mention fan interactions, I actually kissed Jimmy Urine at a show once.
Oh wow!
Like on the mouth?
He walked around after the show in the pit with a sign that said kisses for $1, and I was like, I might as well just do it.
Did you give him the $1?
Yeah, gave him $1 and he gave me a kiss.
All right.
So, but we could. You know how I am, dude. I'm just a whatever.
I feel like Jimmy Urine does not brush his teeth.
No. Oh yeah, I would doubt it.
Was it a nasty?
I don't even remember. Honestly, it was. Holy shit! This was a long time ago. I don't remember, but this was probably like 15 years ago. Crazy, unfortunately for me, how old I am. But anyway, I'm going to move to what we were talking about. On to like, so with music, to get back into music, it's just, I think it's just the trickiest thing that there's a line that is so tough when it comes to like kind of popular music. And so here's an example I'm going to use that we haven't even talked about yet. And I didn't send you the video, Scott, by any chance. I thought about it and I decided not to. But like when we talked about, I think a week ago or so, with one of Tyler's topics where it came up, like, kind of song that's popular really be good and deep, right? Can it actually be good artistically if 50,000 people can sing it at the same time or whatnot? And like there's a song by Pink Floyd, which I'm not a huge Pink Floyd guy per se, but they have a song called Wish You Were Here. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all. Yeah. And this, I would argue that you could argue this is a popular song. It's Pink Floyd. People know Pink Floyd's rather big. People know it. And it's like, I like to, when I watch some of these videos on YouTube, I love finding like obscure ways where the song was played and stuff. And this song, you could argue is a very popular song. Some guy is just busking in a subway, starts doing it. And there's a crowd of like 30 people and they all just start fucking singing it. And because they fucking know this song and they like it and it means something to them. So, I think that a song can be popular and still be very good and meaningful.
Well,
I think
we
that-
talked about art in general when
I know I said a lot there, guys, so you guys can go after.
I
I
would
said a
say
lot.
that you absolutely could have a song that has depth and meaning that is popular. Because it either could have gotten popular as like it could have not been popular at the beginning and then gotten popular, which means it still has that seed of truth, or you have someone that's truly talented in creating something like really good.
Yeah. That's kind of the point I was gonna try to wrap around to, is that like I think if there's a avenue where you can actually be popular and meaningful, it is probably in music, because music in general is inherently pretty simple. Like
Right. Telling life stories about whatever, love, breakup.
Like there are really dense rap songs, or really abstract, like I don't know, fucking like heavy metal songs or something, where maybe somebody would be confused about it. But most songs you can show to anybody.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get the general vibe of this.
Right.
Or your own perception of it.
Yeah, my bigger issue comes with movies and television, large narrative structures. That would be more so what I would say.
Yeah, because music is more on an individual thing. Like it comes down to a person, rather than like a team a lot of the time.
And it's more felt than intellectualized.
Yeah,
and you can feel things in a very broad way.
Do you think that's
feel sadness? We all feel anger.
Right.
We all feel happiness.
When you talk about TV, and I get what you're saying with that TV and movies. Do you think that with like some of what's considered TV, although how we all watch TV in such a different way than we did 20 years ago, do you think like that these days you can versus maybe when you couldn't back in the day, like a Breaking Bad? I assume you guys have seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
For example?
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? So like how we can do shows now where you can do them back then. I think back then you couldn't do shows in that way, where it's like it had to be 22 episodes and it was on a, network television and this and that, where you couldn't really tell real stories. Do you think that you can now tell more authentic real stories these days than you could have?
It's funny, you told us to like have some popular things we liked and didn't like prepared. And I put Breaking Bad on my list because I had felt like, oh, this is a good example of that show is actually extremely popular. You know, everybody knows what it is.
Yep.
Some people consider it one of the best dramas of all time.
I think it's one of the best dramas of all time.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'll say that.
Here.
It's pulpy. It's one of the best pulpy like genre shows of all time.
Yeah. Okay.
More so, but like, I think it absolutely can. I think there's a different level to The Big Bang Theory was the most popular show for 10 years.
I was actually going to bring that up as like I fucking hate that show.
Right.
It's one of the most popular shows on the planet.
Okay,
for a while it was. Yeah.
But
yeah, it's off air now. So
okay, but then let me ask you, Tyler, because you will defend something like Friends. What is the difference?
I will defend Friends as in comfort bullshit. I'm not saying it's good.
Yeah. But why does Big Bang? What is different?
Because Big Bang Theory is a bunch of assholes being mean to each other for a half an hour every week, and Friends has a sense of their friends. Like Big Bang Theory is just a bunch of assholes being.
See, I don't know where that comes from.
And the joke is that nerds are stupid and not are funny because they're nerds.
Okay, so Big Bang Theory hates its characters.
Yes,
and Friends
absolutely.
See,
and Friends loves their characters.
I didn't like Big Bang Theory.
Describe it because I don't think Friends is the good. I think Friends is something I'll watch before I go to bed, so I get a warm feeling.
I did not like Big Bang Theory either. But having said that, I think Tyler's take on it is just because you didn't like Big Bang Theory, you pick out these things you didn't like about it. And I think if you didn't like Friends,
the whole thing.
I
hated it.
I know, but I really disagree with your take on it. But that's okay.
Have you ever watched? They have a video online that takes away the laugh track.
Oh, if you do that to any of those 90s shows,
no, because a lot of them can be heartfelt and good. You just put that shit on, like the whole episode, nothing's funny about it. It's mean.
Well, okay, and Big Bang Theory is such a weird one because on the surface, it appears to be marketed to nerds. But
Right.
it's not actually.
No, it's mean.
No.
to
But that's what I was gonna say. It's not actually marketed to nerds.
making fun of them.
It's marketed to parents
Yep.
of nerds.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
They do not.
That do not get it. Do not understand nerd culture.
Well, my thing is, I think that we're
my son.
Yeah.
I just think that Tyler's a little splitting hairs. I think my point is when you come to the comedy sitcom, as it were, if you like it, then that's what you get out of it. Like, I liked Friends. I don't think it's held up that great, but I still watch it once in a while. Like Tyler said, you're kind of ready to go to bed. It's just a nice show. What you get. My point is, I think with Big Bang Theory, once you get to situational comedy, 30-minute situational comedies, I think it's just, if you don't like it, then you're going to have every reason why you can say it's terrible. And if you do,
my thing is
because there's a lot of people, Friends kind of,
you have to have a thread of empathy through it. I guess
maybe I never watched it enough. I always thought there was friendship, but I guess I didn't watch enough that maybe I didn't understand.
There's not a single line that seems nice.
I agree with Tyler on that. In fact, Chuck Lorre in particular, the guy who made Big Bang Theory, he's made a lot of different sitcoms, and his style is very much like weirdly condescending to the people he is ostensibly marketing to.
Okay.
Like New Girl, to me, like I really like that sitcom because it has an extremely empathetic, like it makes me care about the characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Friends, they like when someone does something mean, there's repercussions for that. They deal with it, and then they become better friends. In Big Bang Theory, nothing's ever resolved. They end the series with Penny and whatever Leonard hating each other and constantly on the verge of divorce.
Really?
Yes.
That kind of makes me like it more. That's a ballsy choice.
No, because it's not explicit. It's just there's so that's my perception of it.
You know what? I'm going to give Tyler this.
Bicker. And it's like, no, you guys are on the verge of divorce.
Oh,
you never say anything nice about each other.
Tyler, you've convinced me. You've convinced me with honestly enough actual examples that I'm going to give you this one. I honestly wanted to just tell you, dude, it's just a sitcom. You just don't like that sitcom.
Yeah,
but you've given me enough examples, so I get what you're saying. That makes sense. And then when Scott reinforced your point, just saying that guy apparently makes kind of shows like that, apparently.
Well, and the fact is, if I were to say it would be a different scenario. Tyler is a sitcom connoisseur.
I love
him. He has watched an absurd amount of sitcoms.
The funny thing is, I would consider myself that too, just because I'm telling you, no one watches more TV than me. Not nobody, but between us three, no way.
Me.
I
still think I guarantee you I watch more TV than you.
We'll have to maybe do a TV log.
TV yeah, exactly.
Yeah, TV log. And it has to be for a month. So it's a real honest judgment. Because I watch a
we
shitload
need to do this for the show. Yeah, a log.
No, it's all right.
How much
I watch a
TV
shitload of TV. Too. So, and I like those sitcoms too. So
it's not a competition. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
But no,
we're gonna turn it into a sad competition for this show.
I will stay. A hot dog eating competition is less sad.
By the way,
that requires physical training.
I'm completely okay with that. It's not quite like not taking a shower for competing against that.
I'll win that competition. I'll prove it if I have to.
You'll
at some
win
point.
That competition. I'm taking a shower the next day. For sure.
Actually, I haven't taken a shower today, by the way, for whatever reason. But I don't know why, but it just happened. It just hasn't came up.
We have. It's pop culture. Never mind.
So anyway, I guess we'll get back to the topic, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think where we could go with that. Scott, Tyler, was Big Bang Theory what you're going to bring? I was going to ask, was there something popular other than Big Bang Theory that you can think of that was really popular that you didn't like, or something that you liked that was never very popular? Any of those things?
I get sucked into them sometimes, but I really hate reality shows. And I know that they're incredibly popular. Scott loves the shit out of them.
They were. I think they've gone away a little bit.
I understand the appeal. That doesn't take away the seed of hate.
Actually, reality shows are not very popular at all.
I was going to say, I thought they
actually.
I guess early 2000s.
The
VH1 years.
Even then, those are cult classics. I feel
like everybody was watching Flavor Flav and.
Well, what about The Bachelor though, and some of that stuff? I mean,
and the thing is, that's what I was going to say. Is you have something Nah, even The Bachelor. If you compare
Yeah,
the
The
numbers,
Bachelor.
it doesn't matter.
That's on the level of like, what is it? America's Got Talent and whatever. Like on TV, probably.
Are you
one of
about to
the
say if you
highest
compare the
rated
numbers, it's
television.
actually not as big as you think it
No,
would be?
yeah. If you compare it in
real?
numbers to a sitcom or something like that, not close. Not even in the same fucking.
Really?
I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
They had that in my head that shit's super popular.
No, they exist. Their model is entirely different, where it's incredibly cheap to make.
Yeah.
And so they go, oh, okay, yeah. If we get a couple 100,000, if we get 1 million viewers,
It's
we're
worth it.
ecstatic.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right.
like
Such
a
a
sitcom,
low budget thing.
a sitcom with those numbers will get canceled.
Now,
yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
interesting.
So
I actually never
so
looked.
for that, like a reality show. The Bachelor is really popular, but for a show like a sitcom, it's nothing.
But to compare it to like The Big Bang Theory, or something like that,
no,
not
I
a
wouldn't even.
fraction.
That's true. What about like America's Got Talent, or what is it called?
American Idol?
My American Idol. Like what about
American Idol was
Probably
fucking
huge,
huge for
right?
a while. It was for a while. That might have been putting in big numbers.
that? I honestly liked that.
But
when
the
I was
other ones
younger.
just weren't as big as
When it was-
I guess we all thought
And
they were at
that's
times.
the largest reality show of all time.
Right.
Is American, or what is it called? Why do I keep forgetting?
American
Idol?
American Idol. It's the biggest reality show of all time.
Yeah. Oh, no, nothing else. I don't even believe. If there is anything else close to it, it's another musical competition show.
Really?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's wild. In my head, I've always thought like the Beverly Hills shit, the like Housewives of Beverly Hills.
No,
was
those are
super
like they're
The
popular.
Bachelor and like
No, okay.
No, some go ahead.
American Idol.
I was gonna say, okay, if you were to compare it, like something like American Idol or something like that, if you were to compare it to like magazines you see on the newsstand, that would be like fucking like Time magazine, like New York Times. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that's like the Inquirer.
Interesting.
Hidden behind several other magazines.
Yeah, exactly. As
Okay.
VH1 shows.
I don't know why that perception has always been in my head that show's insanely popular.
Those
It
VH1
just
shows,
seems like it's in the pop culture. Like people reference it a lot.
yeah, but those VH1 shows would be like World Weekly News in its prime. Like it
Right,
would be
right.
like one of those like Bat Boy on the cover.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Scott actually mentioned this. So this is one that always, for some reason, I'm sure anyone can use different bands as an example. I don't know why, but for me personally, Green Day actually always has been one that I've used though, as like the idea of something being popular and is it still good or that bad? And you know what's interesting also is that Tyler brought up, you have this certain amount of time when you can make stuff that's relevant or authentic. And the thing about Green Day that's always been funny to me is that, for one, they had a massive explosion at the beginning, right? When they have Dookie and they're blah, blah, blah. And they have a few albums after that. And they were starting to lose like momentum. They had a few albums that didn't do as well. And they were starting to talk about maybe being done. They were like, I don't know, man. And they worked on it. They were working on another album, but they were kind of, like I said, in this weird zone of like, are we still going to do this? Things are kind of, I don't know if we're feeling it anymore as a band. And an album got wiped out, just computer shit. Literally, they had an album on some drive somewhere, fucked up, gone completely. And after that, they took a little break and they came back and they wrote American Idiot. And American Idiot is one of my favorite albums of all time. And it's but that's my point. So it's an interesting thing that, in my opinion, Green Day, would most people, like Tyler would say, or older people might argue, they were at their biggest right when they were young, right? And then years later, American Idiot completely brought Green Day back into like the main fold.
Okay, I would say that first of all, like, and I bought the album too when I was a teenager, so like I get it, but like I think the album American Idiot is terrible personally. I think it is some of the corniest, worst, like.
Do you think any of their other albums were like better? Or?
Yeah, I think Dookie is a solid album. It's fun. It's laid back. It's good. I think Nimrod's all right. What was the one they made after Nimrod sucked. But then they had American Idiot, and here's the thing. Here's how you can tell, at least in my opinion, that it was not actually good. Is they did not spin this into a career revival where they put out more albums that were popular. They were right at this perfect moment where like we were in Iraq everybody was mad at George Bush.
Yeah.
And they hit a cultural vein. It wasn't that.
See, here's where the problem that where this will be a tough to talk, and we don't. It's okay. I'm not gonna. No one's it's obviously perception, right and wrong, and this will be a little harder to use this as one of my points because I fucking love that album, and to this day I listen to it regularly.
I'm sure you were in that cultural vein he's talking about. You were.
I mean, I was post high school because I didn't get into.
Yeah, and I was too.
And it's so much nostalgia for you. Did you ever see them in concert?
I've seen them a few times, and they're great in concert, by the way. And they seem to keep getting better.
Saw the little ant versions.
Okay, here's my thing. Did they release an album after American Idiot?
Oh yeah, several. Yeah.
I see, and I generally pay attention to pop culture. I couldn't have told you that. If you had put a gun to my head and asked me if they released an album after American Idiot, I'd be like, probably, but I have no idea.
Right.
I don't know what name it is. I don't know a single song off of it.
But here's my main point, I guess. With music, everything's going to be, it can't all be individualist to everybody, I suppose. But like in my mind, when Tyler says when someone says and I agree, I think it's hard for a lot of artists to do this, by the way. So I'm not saying it, but in my mind, I like that better than anything they did. But to a lot of people would say you can't, and you don't like it. So that's fine. But I'm just saying, in my mind, they did write an album well after some might consider their prime. And I fucking loved it and loved it to this day. Yeah. So it is interesting how I think it can be done, even if you disagree that was the outcome.
Yeah. I would just say that's more so hitting the cultural jackpot than necessarily
maybe so
having, because I mean, I can't think of any more recent songs by Green Day than stuff off that album. So obviously didn't do well in the culture after that.
And then here's the other thing you mentioned earlier about people say about getting on a major label, right? And that's when you go bad and stuff. I think I think there's that sweet spot, and because I do agree with you, Tyler, in the sense of just as a human, I think if you're writing songs, there is a well that you have, and it's hard.
I mean, I think that with a lot of art, I think that is a thing that you have your prime, you have your
right, and I don't think there's anything you can do about it. It's not a flaw. It's as a human, you can only have so much to draw from at some point.
Yeah,
right.
And people might even have shit that's better, but a lot of the time, even if it's not you're doing your best shit, you get 10 years of being in the light. Being able to express that thing if you're really pursuing it. So it doesn't even have to do with maybe the talent went away. It's no, it's just that spark is gone.
Well, the other interesting oh, sorry. And the other
into something and it went away.
Yep.
And when Scott talked about
skill, but sorry.
And when Scott talked about it's all right. When Scott talked about having the big contract, I think again that's the same thing where there's a happy medium. Because on some level, I always think to people that think, and I always use, I'm going to go back to Green Day, even though, it's not as back to the American Idiot anymore. But Green Day very famously got really also hit by the Oakland, punk scene when they sold out and, went on and they weren't playing the local shithole anymore. And they're not punk anymore. And
I also feel like that's some bitter ass people.
That's the thing to me. That's the thing. Are you? So my point of that is there's a happy ground. If you have a contract, a solid fat money contract for 20 years, eventually you're gonna not have much to write about it. And you're write more trite stuff or this or that. But on the same hand, for people, don't they realize that if you also don't get that contract, if you have to still be working at McDonald's and maybe driving Uber Eats in the morning and McDonald's at night, you're not gonna be able to write the art that you want to write. Really?
Here's to me what I would say is the fundamental thing though is that art is inherently personal. To me, anything that is really transcendent, really great art has a single person or a single small team of people helming the entire thing. And the problem is with a vision for it. And the problem is when you get too big budget, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Now
that can happen for sure.
In that you can still make art through that, but it's in spite of that, not it's
right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's just such a tricky thing though, that I think some people, if you're not doing it, if you haven't done it, I think so many of us just want to tell them why that's not good enough or why. And it's like, I don't think everyone realizes how hard that really would be. Like most of them do not want, there's maybe a few that are like their whole goal is just to be a sellout and bang chicks, but most people probably don't want, they want to just write songs and they don't want to work
the craft.
Right. Don't want to work a real job. Just they like being in front of people and entertaining or whatever.
Yeah. And then it takes you to that next level.
I have this theory about like people talk about selling out and whatever, and that's a lot more like complicated and a lot more hard to parse in a certain way. If there is an indication to me that a musician is going to be terrible, it is if they put on weight. I've never seen you can be fat from the get.
Right.
And the reverse is true too. I feel like if you get skinnier, you get better. Like your craft or whatever.
That's funny.
I'm thinking like because what's his name? I mean, you don't probably like him, but like Michael Bublé started out super fat. Now he's super skinny. And he's super popular.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a good example.
YouTube, now he's famous.
I can't think of a single, and you guys feel free to jump in if you can, but I cannot think of a single musician that got chubby or fat and still was good at music.
I will have one, but I don't think that you guys will probably, I'm not going to say or disagree, but it's not the most, deep band of all time. But one of my favorite pop punk bands, Bowling for Soup, the lead singer has gotten massively fat, and I still really enjoy new music they put out. Like not just old shit, new style. Like I just enjoy his writing style.
Well, there you go.
And even then, they're not. They are. I bet you could go to a 200-person concert for Bowling.
Oh yeah, no, they're not anymore a no. They've never really been a band that could go to a 20,000 seat arena as the main band. They were always
more 10,000 potato chips. Am I right?
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, this dude, he's
bowling for gravy.
Bowling for gravy.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, dude. He's put on a good 200 pounds since when they were like younger, but he's still like fun loving and up there drinking beers and stuff. So
yeah. I don't. You know who's really hit me, and I think I might see them in like a month or whatever. Like Modest Mouse.
Yeah.
I have their arc of their music being terrible has perfectly matched the arc his weight.
That's funny.
In their promotional stuff, because they just put out a new album. It sucks. Don't listen to it. But they put out a new album and they were trying to hide how fat he was in all of their promotional stuff. And you could tell because like it would be like him standing with the band and it's all like layered, like several layers of them standing over top of each other. So you can't tell quite how fat he is.
That's fucking funny, man.
I do think this like correlates to like I wonder what Oprah's numbers were when she was fat versus how that translates.
Yeah, she was riding the tightrope. That was the thing.
Did
you ever see
losing people, or she was at her peak?
No, she was at her peak. That's what I'm saying. She was walking the tightrope, though. Your weight can fluctuate, and you can still be.
So you can stay in.
Okay, it's when you
can't go like full on fat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
I'm trying to
even that happy medium.
Yeah, and in fact, I think she has lost weight since she has been off the air.
Why is it?
Yeah,
she's not sitting and talking to people.
Well, her show. I mean, her show. Those shows are honestly, God, you guys. People can think what they want about those shows, but doing a 5-day-a-week like talk show like that is very grueling. Actually,
yeah, totally. It'll turn you into a monster like Ellen.
Yeah. Right.
Oprah.
I'm trying to think. I wish I could remember who drew this. There was a famous, just because you mentioned Oprah, I thought it was Kevin Hart. But
I just feel like she might be a part of the elite.
Damn it.
Oh, for sure.
I thought it was Kevin Hart, but now I can't remember, and it didn't really pop up. There was a time we were talking about it one time on one of our shows where some celebrity came out there and said, Oprah, I did a drawing of you, and it looked like nothing like her. Like, and she had but I cannot remember who did it, damn it. And I wish I could look it up right now to find out. But it was like, they're like, oh yeah, and they made her so much skinnier than she was at the time. And it's like I wish I could remember who it was, but I'll look it up. I'll try to look it up later. But Why were we bringing that up? Oh, because you're bringing up fat and being a correlation between me. Now, you know what's funny is comedians, you can certainly get fatter as a comic and become funnier.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
But as a comic, you can't go from fat to skinny. You can't go from fat to skinny though. As a comic,
each role you get a new joke.
Eric is 100% right. You cannot go from fat.
You can go from skinny to fat.
It's the opposite.
Yep. Lavelle Crawford.
Like, less funny the skinnier you got.
Yeah, but Lavelle Crawford, perfect example of that.
Dude, you can go from skinny to fat. You can be fat. You can be skinny. You can't go from fat to skinny as a comic because it's just like, where are all your jokes now? And everyone just goes, just like you can't really be good looking as a comic. I know it can happen.
What are you
but
even supposed to like? Why would that not work? Are people yelling in the audience like you don't have as much hardship?
There's just no, I don't know what it is.
It's not.
Your life's too good.
It's like when a fat comic becomes skinny. It's like when a hard partier becomes sober, and now everything he talks about is being sober. That's why
like a gym guy, or like,
right. So like when a fat comic becomes skinny, then it's all just like almost about that. Like he's trying to prove to everybody how he lost weight.
And you can't and it's one of those things too. Is like you need to pick a weight around 30 and just stick to it. Whatever that is, because the problem is have you ever seen like some of these people did Gabriel Iglesias lost a bunch of weight too, didn't he?
I don't know about that one.
I could say for sure with Lavelle Crawford, the man looks haunting. I agree with
that. Dude, what about
the
same thing with the actor.
Yeah, but with flaps of skin just hanging off of you.
Super bad actor too. What was the super bad? What's
Jonah
that?
Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Yep.
That's funny.
They're here for fat jokes. Get off the stage. I'm here for fat jokes. Get off the stage.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like no. When you get famous, you pick your weight, and all of us, the American public, we expect you to stay
to it. Right. That's what you're supposed to be.
You stick to it or get fat.
Yeah.
You can get fatter.
And even then, it can still become bad. But
fatter. You know who tried to ride the fat train that I've never understood is Jim Gaffigan.
He's not really fat.
I mean, he's beer belly fat.
Yeah.
Is he even?
Yeah.
Even though he's one of my favorite comedians, by the way.
I've seen him put his hands on his stomach like he's just chilling.
I feel like
he's just soccer dad, and it's not soccer dad kind of, but because it's he's just like dad fat.
Yeah, he is got a dad bod.
If I saw him, I'd be like that guy's got a dad bod. I would never be like this guy's fat.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be like he's kind of fat.
But maybe he knew though. Maybe he just knew that if he kept, if he ate how he wanted to or something, or maybe you know what I mean. I don't know. It's too bad. He's one of my favorite comedians because it's like unreal that he does it clean, and he makes me laugh.
Yeah.
No, he's awesome.
Hilarious.
He's amazing.
But I know what you're saying. He's not fat.
He's one of the only artistic creators I can enjoy with my mom.
Yeah,
like me. And my mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I've watched Jim Gaffigan with my parents, and it's like he's hilarious.
Everybody's
having fun. Yeah,
we're all having fun.
Yep.
Which is honestly, and it's not because you have to swear to be funny, but there's just something about it that it's hard to be completely
times, going to stand up with your parents or someone you're close to that's older, something that cringe of please don't tell that joke. Or
some guy or girl getting up there talking about shoving something in her goddamn pussy or something,
and it's out a chick and starts fucking with nope, not with Jim Gaffigan. He's gonna talk about hot pockets, and he's gonna talk about his weight and his wife.
Yep.
Right.
And it's all gonna be hilarious.
Dude, I've laughed so hard I've cried at stuff he's done, even though it's clean as balls.
You know what it is? The reason he can make that work is because most of the people who do go clean because they suck. And
right.
They know they can get in this corporate gig.
Exactly.
And they can get in this little family friendly Jeff Dunham on Playing with My Puppets.
Right.
And and Jim Gaffigan is a great comic who could be dirty and everybody would love him.
Oh, dude, I've heard him on interviews. I've heard him on interviews on WTF and stuff, and he swears. It's just that his comic, he kind of at one point decided this was the way to go, and he did it so well. He's interesting. I love him. He's, like I said, he's in my top 3 personally. But we got I'm in the range of 10 minutes left here. Scott, I was going to bring something up, and you guys can both obviously talk about this, but this is something we kind of teased, I think, when I was teasing this episode last week. But like going back to, again, a band getting popular, and like remember this guy at the beginning talking about Fall Out Boy, which I know I've told you this story in another episode, but I can't. I every time we talk about Fall Out Boy, by the way, I tell a story, even though we've mentioned it on a podcast previous. But every time I think about Fall Out Boy, instantly all I think about is that dude that I've told you guys before about, where I was at the show. I'm sitting on the outside of the mosh pit, and he just comes up to me and goes, "I hate my dad," and then just back into the mosh pit. It's like, sounds good, dude. I can't think
like
of
that's the energy that those mosh pits have. I hate my dad.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to say it.
And by the way,
he got too into it. He was in the middle.
Could there be a more like Diet Coke or wait a minute, sorry. Like, yeah, Diet Coke version of I Hate My Dad. Like, he's not at a fucking Pantera concert. He's not at like, he's at Fall Out Boy.
Maybe like I Forgive My Dad. He comes out of there. I forgive my dad.
That's like, better.
Yeah. That's the Coke version.
Yeah.
Right. Like he's at fucking, well, no, but it's like, he's not at Pantera. He's not at like Slipknot. He's at, and I love both these bands, but he's at Fall Out Boy, Newfound Glory. Like, dude, it's pop punk and it's popist. I mean, so it's just kind of funny.
Found out you could have came here with your dad.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
It'd be great if you heard in the audience like, "Fuck you too, son."
Right. So I bring them up because, like I said at the beginning, I kind of circling back here. That guy was like, they're too popular, and I know I said this last week, and Scott will, I think, disagree with me on this, but like I have never not only had a problem with my artists getting popular, I've like wanted people I like Pat Green again. I would love it if more people. Talk about Pat Green to anybody that will listen. I wish more people liked Pat Green. I would be glad to one day go to a 10,000 person show and see Pat. But some people really hate that and they don't like it at all.
See, here's the thing: is like, okay, I do not like huge concerts, but I am not opposed to anything I like getting popular.
Okay.
I think that a lot of the time I don't like popular stuff because of the factors that go into it. The shit I was saying that I've said before, where it's like, okay, yeah, you got a ton of people working on it now. You have to market to both children and adults because children and adults are both going to experience this. You have to market to fucking people who don't speak English as their first language.
Yeah.
Because and like. Which is fine.
This all makes sense. This all makes much more sense than that all makes sense to me when you say it like that. What do you think about Tyler? Like, do you have any thought? Like, do you have artists that you have that you would wish actually you'd actually like, man, I wish more people did know this person, or would you like it?
Yeah. There's plenty of off the top of my head, I'm thinking of an Infinity Train. I wish that was more popular. More people like that shit.
See, I don't want.
But I want things that I want to get popular are things that I want to continue being a thing.
Okay,
I would say.
Yeah, that's the thing is because I would say, and I think you would agree with me on this. I don't care if it gets popular, but I don't want the art I like to get popular either. Except for if I'm worried that it's not going to continue.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Because I think if it does get popular, then you're taking some concessions with that.
Yeah.
I think on my end, I think the reason I do that, and I'm not trying to be any, holier than thou person, but as an artist myself, I just think to myself, I want them to not have to work a job the rest of their life. I feel like they probably worked very hard to get to this point, and if they can just get to this next level, then they will be set, and I kind of feel happy for them because I know on my end, that's all I've ever wanted is to just not have to work a real job. And so I think that's what I think of it.
Popular enough that you already like them, they've already achieved that.
But not necessarily, they're working man people.
Never working at a Walmart.
Not anymore. Yeah. You're right. No, you're right. And actually, Pat Green's wrote a few songs that have set him up for good. So anyway, but
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying even as somebody who likes a lot of like independent rap and stuff, who likes a lot of smaller people are still, they're always going to be able to support
make
themselves.
Money.
Sometimes though, like if they have to, as long as they hold on to it long enough. Now, if you catch them early enough, you don't want them 10 years from now working at the Walmart going, damn, maybe if they had been a little
work out for you, bro.
Yeah, you're at the Walmart and you're like, damn, I used to love you guys. Thanks a lot. asshole.
Yeah,
Maybe you should have told a few more people about us, huh?
Yeah. Is that Pat Green at Walmart? Like, what the fuck?
Did you guys see? I thought it was hilarious. Like when you were talking about the Fallout Boy guy yelling, "I hate my dad" or whatever. This made me think about like this was the same mentality with this. Did you see like recently like Nelly played in Iowa Fair?
No.
And it was like controversial to the people there.
Oh my God,
Why
no.
was he in Iowa?
Right. I mean,
That's the better question. What?
Yeah, who
He's on
booked
the
him?
fair circuit. That's where Nelly's
He's
at.
on the fair circuit.
Is he still wearing his Band-Aid?
Yeah, is he wearing his Band-Aid? And is he still singing?
Seriously? He still wears the Band-Aid?
The thong, right? Is he the one who sings thong?
No, thong song is Juvenile. No,
He seriously still wears the Band-Aid?
Hot in here.
Hot in here. Okay, he's
Yeah,
doing that? That was his controversial song?
Of course, I know it was controversial. Like a bunch of people in Iowa were like, "We don't want Nelly at this fair. Like we don't like gangster types like him."
Right.
Were they just being like they don't want a black person in their town?
Oh, 100%.
Oh no.
Why is he on the fair circuit, dude? He's not a circus clown.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder. Look, he should be able to play Iowa. This is 2021. Should be able to play Iowa. Having said that, the person who made that booking, did they not think a little bit about that? Like, is this really going to go over well in the Iowa State Fair?
Like all of them? Okay.
And by the way, do you really want to see the people at the Iowa State Fair taking off them clothes?
No.
No.
Some big people.
Yeah, this isn't Miami.
A bunch of good comedians over there.
A lot of stomach scars.
Holy shit! That was such a spit take. Oh my God! A bunch of good comedians over there.
Yeah, dude. They stick into that weight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was fucking funny.
Or getting bigger. Either way.
A lot of third nipples and stomach scars, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody's topless.
Yeah.
Or has a white beater on.
And I'm gonna
male breasts.
Dude, I have to honestly legit
female breasts. Yeah, nobody's wearing a bra in Iowa.
Once we're done, I'm gonna actually have to do the thing where like you got some water on your iPad or iPhone, you have to turn off the screen so you can wipe it off. Because if I do it now, buttons will be hit. There's actual water like on my iPad screen over here. So
yeah, it was in the splash zone, man.
Right. Trying to think. I'm gonna get to this. This is getting a little past my bedtime, so I'm gonna keep it closer to the 1 hour than normal. But I'm gonna mention one last thing at the end that I think an interesting take on popularity, for example, and like something that had a huge impact on my life a few years ago is that I found EDM, electric dance music. It was by far already in the bubble, already popular and mainstream, and I probably got into it when people were already like, EDM sold out, man. But on the same hand, it changed my life. Like it literally is the only music I can go to where I'm sober and I'm totally fucking don't even need to be doing anything. I've gone to festivals where I haven't even drank and whatnot and stuff. So it's just another interesting thing to me. I'm gonna just giving my experience, and you guys can kind of give your thoughts on this. But it's another interesting thing to me that it reached a popularity that finally hit me, a dummy. After some people probably were into it for 20 years.
Yeah.
But it has had such an impact on my life as far as happiness and in other ways. And it's just an interesting thing because if it doesn't get popular, then I don't find it, and I don't know what that means necessarily. And maybe I don't even know.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a thing that like I have definitely gotten into. Like even with my that I spend a lot of the time like practicing magic and shit like that,
right?
Which I know like we've talked about before. It's the same thing. It's like it's a popular, trendy thing right now.
Right now, it's everywhere.
Yet I still found it in that time period.
Right.
And like would not be like, oh, I'm doing the popular, trendy thing.
Right. Yeah. It's just a weird thing because I found it way later. Like you said, way later.
Think, like with EDM, how you say it like sells out and stuff like. Feel like there are definitely some like DJs and stuff, but like that music is what it is. A partying classical music, so it hits its own vibe. And
that
if
makes
you
sense.
can understand that, you are hitting a sense of like joy and fun in the people that are listening to it, no matter if you're a sellout or not, because you're creating just ethereal instrumental music, and that kind of like transcends if you're good or not.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think the overall theme I would have from this, and we're actually gonna kind of wrap it up here, but I would have but not that you have to stop completely on thoughts on that, but the overall theory, it led to me, what Tyler just said, led me to kind of what I guess would be a final thought. And that is just, I think that more people in this day and age, maybe it's social media, I think we get so enthralled on like, is something popular? Is it too popular? And it's like, to me, as long as you're just into it for genuine reasons, then that's all that really should matter, really.
Yeah, if you like a thing, like a thing. Like, totally fine. It's I agree that it can get to a point where it's a process thing that they're trying to hit your dopamine in your head so that you're happy about it, and it's not really good.
Right.
But I think that...
Well, I think the other thing is,
if you like something popular, there's nothing wrong with that.
I would say also, like, nobody should be afraid once in a while to have a quote unquote what do you call that when it's like your not dirty secret, but like a when you're into something. Yeah, like I think that we should all be you should try to find art that's deep and meaningful, but there is nothing wrong with some brain candy too once in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Completely agree.
I think that's I think that if you guys have something, go ahead.
I mean, it's probably pretty similar to Eric's, but just that, like, I don't think you should judge, like, how popular something is or isn't shouldn't really be a factor in whether or not you enjoy it. Like, I can say, oh yeah, I don't like a lot of popular things, but that's just because I know a lot of popular things that I like. I would never be like, oh, this thing is popular, so I don't like it.
I can't like it.
Yeah. Cool.
You good, Tyler? I think you kind of said something.
Yeah, no, I said my final thought. So.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Well, that went well. All right. That's this week's episode. Thanks everybody that's listened. We appreciate that a few people were even commenting. And actually, as we're getting into the end of August here, we actually had some people watching today live, which is awesome. So that's great. We all appreciate that. We see the numbers and we appreciate it.
Right. You guys stopped having fun and now you're back here.
Exactly.
Back in quarantine, just chilling and watching us.
Right. For sure. And then we have Scott next week.
Yes.
Do you know what you're doing, Scott, yet or no?
Yeah. And I haven't talked to either one of you guys about this, but I thought it would be fun. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I read you guys an article when we were talking about weird sex fetishes, about people doing like object fetishes and shit like that, or being in love with objects. And I absolutely love a good insane op-ed or opinion piece. Right. And I had a couple of different completely insane opinion pieces that have existed in like mainstream news that I was gonna, like, read to you guys.
Okay.
I'm down. That's exciting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds awesome. Okay, sweet. Well, thanks everybody for listening this week, and looking forward to that next week. This was the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. And as always, appreciate if you can share, like, subscribe to all of our social media aspects and whatnot. And that's it. Goodbye.
Yeah. Toodaloo.